Story 1. Speak No Evil. The Danish horror movie from 2022 was one of them. Man, that was one messed up movie. My girl couldn't even watch the end because it messed with her head so much. She had nightmares for a week afterward. She'd wake me up in the dead of the night shouting, "Help! He's here! He's here!" Then I'd shoot straight up in bed, drenched in sweat. Not going to lie, it was a terrible way to wake up. Story 2. Bad Boy Bubby. After being kept a prisoner in his own home for 35 years, a man, Nicholas Hope, accidentally kills his parents and escapes into the real world. Story 3. The Pianist. Being a descendant of a Holocaust survivor, it just messed with my head how brutal it was and how lucky I am to be here. Story 4. People are going to say a Serbian film, Human Centipede, Salo, or Martyrs. But I have always thought Henry was particularly brutal as it was very realistic and shot in a very amateurish manner. Story 5. Dogtooth. I happened upon that one when I went on a quest to see the most shocking movie. Runners-up included Requiem for a Dream, a Serbian film, Salo, Mandragora, and Funny Games. Somehow, that one still won out over all of them. I would prefer if I never have to see that movie again. Story 6. 50 First Dates details the story of a woman who is unable to form new memories. A man takes advantage of this situation by marrying her, getting her pregnant, and compelling her to live with him on a houseboat in the Arctic while he conducts research on penguins. Each day, she awakens to him, forcing her to watch a video that documents her enduring this bewildering experience day after day, all under the observant eyes of their daughter. It's a profoundly unsettling film. Story 7. Funny Games. I had to watch this in my high school film class, and once it was over, I just sat there contemplating what I had just watched. It's a mental movie. Story 8. The Green Inferno is pretty gnarly. It's a terrible movie, but the deaths are gruesome, especially the first one. I've only watched it once a long time ago, but I'm sure there are worse movies out there. Story 9. Megan is Missing. Not just the movie, but the director was really freaking weird. And the fact that the parents of the actors for Megan and Amy were on set the whole time and they allowed that scene really sets me off. Because the actors were actually the age of their character, 14 years old. Story 10. When a guy explained the plot to me back in 1992, my friends and I took it as evidence that he was a person who liked to make things up. Remember, back then, it wasn't easy to fact-check a lot of stuff, let alone underground foreign cinema. Turns out, it was all true, and I hold him in high regard as a friend who showed my ignorant self lots of weird things. Bless. Story 11. The Room, it's so bad it's good, and will leave you questioning everything you've ever known about filmmaking. Plus, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa," is a phrase that will haunt you for the rest of your life. Story 12. The default answer is a Serbian film. However, I have a counteroffer of The Owners, 2014. This movie had a limited release on the festival circuit, and we saw it on the most bizarre night the Traverse City Film Festival ever experienced. A near tornado came ashore, bringing a storm that nearly destroyed the town. The movie is about a group of recently orphaned children from Kazakhstan. They have been left a ramshackle house in rural Kazakhstan. However, when they arrive, the place is occupied by these oddballs who refuse to leave and bully them mercilessly. The eldest sibling goes to the police to try to do something about them, only to find out the chief of police is the brother of the lead bully. And that is the height of joy that the movie presents. It just gets worse from there on a trek down into the depths of what humanity can do to itself. Story 13. Eden Lake. Young Fassbender and his wife are getting stalked through the woods by a bunch of chav teens. The panic-inducing pace and closeness of the camera properly upset me. Nearly ruined a couple of friendships recommending this one. Story 14. Check out an underground movie called Last House on Dead End Street. It was so crazy, people thought it was a real snuff film that was accidentally leaked into the public. It's the most depraved film ever made. There's nothing cheerful about it, no charm, just dirty. Story 15. The Guinea Pig films, specifically the second one, Flower of Flesh and Blood from 1985, feature literally an hour of a woman being dismembered. Salo is disturbing. A Serbian film is disturbing. Cannibal Holocaust is disturbing. Cannibal Ferox is also quite disturbing. Story 16, Alien. I only know about this because I myself have Crohn's, but the creator Dan O'Bannon had Crohn's as well. The Alien and entire movie in general was a way for him to express the pain, disgust, and experience that a person with inflammatory bowel disease has. And from what I've seen and experienced, it's pretty darn accurate. It's a monstrous disease. So yeah, it's messed up because it's as real as a horror movie gets. Rest in peace, Dan O'Bannon. The disease took his life too early. Story 17. An obscure pick because I haven't seen anyone mention it yet. Titicut Follies. It's a documentary filmed in a mental hospital that was banned for a period of time in the United States due to violation of the patient's right to privacy. There's just something disturbing about seeing people have mental breakdowns and being locked in bare cells when they probably don't even comprehend they're being filmed. Story 18. Perhaps not the most, but Dogtooth is quite disturbing. Also, anything by Lars von Trier, such as Breaking the Waves, Dancer in the Dark, Antichrist, Dogville, and so on. Story 19. French pop songwriter and singer Serge Gainsbourg released a concept album about an inappropriate relationship with a 15-year-old girl. Then, he produced a movie about the sexual tension between a washed-up middle-aged celebrity and his teenage daughter. He cast himself as the man and his actual teenage daughter in the role of the daughter. Story 20. Most romantic movies glorify cheating and toxic relationships. The Notebook is a prime example. A man goes off to war while his girlfriend cheats on him while he's risking his life in Europe. Story 21. The movie that affects me the most is Requiem for a Dream. It is an amazing movie with a marvelous score and performances from the entire cast, but it certainly leaves me feeling depressed afterwards. Story 22. Eraserhead. But I was only 17 and a freshman at university when I saw it. Maybe it is time for a rewatch to see if it is as messed up as I remember, or if age and life experiences will make it make more sense. Story 23. The Bad Batch and The Road and All the Hostels Requiem of a Dream. Neon Demon 2. Can't believe Keanu Reeves was in there too. Would never watch those movies again and would like to forget them. I know you said movie, but I had to throw those in. Story 24. Not counting shock films and sticking with stuff that actually ended up in theaters, Splice. That movie is weird as can be. I felt gross after watching it. Story 25. I saw this in the theater. When it was over and the credits rolled, nobody was talking as they exited. The mood was so dark. I thought to myself, I need to go pray. Story 26. An American Crime really affected me deeply for a while. This was made worse by the fact that I'm a parent to girls and it's based on real events. It's based on the story of Sylvia Likens. I'll spare you the details unless you want to look it up.